All right, so I wanted to give you a quick recap of our tour yesterday. Where are we going next? Let's go. We went with Mega Adventures right here out of our resort. I believe they book at most of the major resorts, but there are a lot of tour companies to choose from, as you can imagine, in any tourist location. So here's my overall review. We had Alex as our tour guide and Juan as our driver. Both were very good, and I really enjoyed the tour itself. We are not tour people. Let me just preface this by saying we generally do not go on organized tours, and there's a few reasons for that. We're kind of at the mercy of the tour. We like to kind of explore at our own pace. And then while we enjoy meeting people on our vacation, sometimes we do not get the luck of the draw when it comes to who is on our tour with us, which can make the tour less enjoyable. So yesterday we were the first pickup here at Sunscape. One thing to know for this particular tour, it was three things that we did. We were doing the horseback riding, we did the zip line, and we also did the waterfalls, the 27 waterfalls. Now, there was also the option to do the buggy instead of the horseback riding. That was a little bit more expensive. Any tour is going to cost you more than if you go it alone. The main reason we did not go it alone is because of the transportation issue. I'm a little bit more comfortable in Spanish and navigating on my own. I would have been fine taking an Uber up to 27 waterfalls. No problem. My husband was a little bit more nervous about that and decided that it'd be better to do the tour. Plus, he liked the idea that we got to do three different activities. Neither one of us had ever done a zip line before, so that was kind of an added bonus in that. And horseback riding, I mean, who doesn't love horseback riding? They're such sweet creatures, and it's just wonderful. So they picked us up here at 8:15 in the morning. We were, like I said, the first pickup. Then we went down the coast, or along the coast of Playa Dorada, to two more hotels. The second hotel, they were pretty much ready to go. There was a family of girls, a woman and like two daughters. And then there were two ladies from Canada along with us. Then we went to Lifestyle, which is a little further down the coast. And it's a whole complex. And unfortunately there, we ended up waiting for probably 20 to 30 minutes for the people that were being picked up. And then it was just getting to the point of being ridiculous. Like, we had already been on the pickup for, at that point, like an hour. And then it got close. By the time we got to the place, it was 2 hours in total that we were on that bus, from the time we got on to the time we made it to our destination. Now, the second part was, so I think there should have been a time limit. If you're not ready by your designated pickup time within a reasonable amount of time, 15 minutes maybe, sorry, you got to rebook. You're not going to inconvenience the entire tour just because you can't be on time. So finally, we got to the first destination. They were dropping off the people for the buggies. Well, the people that had booked the buggies, one of the people that were late, were very unhappy that they had to do the buggies first. They started arguing with the tour guide. So here's another tip for taking an organized tour. What they sell you at the hotel is not necessarily the order that you're going to be going on your activities. So they may say, yes, you're doing these activities, and first you're going to do this and this and this. All they know at the hotel is this is typically what they do. This is typically the order. It doesn't mean the day of that will be the order. It depends on what's going on at the different attractions to space out the crowds. So for instance, 27 Waterfalls yesterday was very busy. There was a cruise ship in port. So we ended up going very late in the day. Most of the time, if you do one of these tours, you go very early in the day because the park closes at 3. That wasn't the case yesterday. So just go with the flow. Don't argue with the guys. Finally, we got to our place, which we were doing the horseback riding. And Mega Extreme or Mega Adventures, they have their own kind of complex where they have their zip line and their horseback riding. So you can drive directly there to do the zip lining and the horseback riding. You do not have to go through an organized tour through your hotel. So just know that you can drive straight there. And then from there, they will take you to the waterfalls if that's what you've booked. But again, you can always drive or take an Uber to the waterfalls yourself. And it's obviously going to be less expensive to do that, but a little bit more navigating on your part. So assess your comfort level and decide accordingly. So while we were at the complex, we did a horseback riding, then we did our zip line, and then after the zip line, we had lunch. The lunch was very good. Classic Dominican fare. So it was good. Then we got to the waterfalls, and again, it was a blast. Now, even if you have your own tour guide, like we booked this tour, right? When you get to the waterfalls, you will have your own tour guide from the national park. That's required. Our tour guide at the national park would have rather been anywhere else than helping us. That's all I know. He barely spoke. He never smiled. He was not interactive at all. And it was unfortunate because so many videos I've seen talk about how great these tour guides are at the national park. And this guy that we got was just a dud. And I realize everywhere you go, but it just shows how one employee, one bad apple, can make all the difference in your experience. Obviously, we still had a great time. We just kind of maneuvered around him and just didn't let it bother us. But when you got to see the tour ahead of you and their tour guide being so interactive and fun and encouraging and everything, and then ours was like, it just was interesting. Then when we were done with the waterfalls, we cleaned up and everything, and then got to do our drop-offs. Now, obviously, we were the first pickup. We're the last drop-off. So as you can imagine, by the time we got back to our hotel, it was 6:30. And it's funny because originally when we booked this, the guy here at the hotel, again, he only knows so much. It's like, oh yeah, you guys will be back around 3:30. There's no way doing this tour with all the activities we did and how far apart they are, even if that we didn't have to wait 30 minutes for that first group, there's still no way that we would have been back by 3 o'clock. I think at the most we would have been back by 4:30, 5 o'clock. But in any case, the downside is you miss a whole day at your all-inclusive. So we spent the entire day, 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., 10 hours away from our resort. Now, obviously, we still had great dinner and everything and got to, hang out yesterday evening. But we missed all our pool time. We missed all our beach time. But we did get a really cool adventure. So I will say overall, Mega Adventures was well worth the excursion. We really enjoyed it. The only thing I said I would change was have a time limit on your wait time. And then beyond that, we just enjoyed it. We had a great time. Was it worth the money? I like doing things on my own, so it's hard to say. My husband will tell you it was well worth the money. I will say if you are the type that are not comfortable going it on your own, then yes, it's absolutely worth every penny. If you're a little bit more adventurous like I am and you prefer to do things on your own, then at the end of the day, it probably isn't worth the money because, again, you could break up these activities and do it on your own. So that's all I got for you for the Mega Adventures review. If you want their information, link is down in the bio here. Please make sure you give them some love when next time that you're in Puerto Plata. They're a great company, great people working there. Had a lot of fun and highly recommend them. All right, checking with you later. Where are we going next? Let's go.